Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Valley Hub Data Cloud series, where we are organizing cross-org integrations with Data Cloud, use case number 5. So today our topic, our use case would be order cancellations. We're going to streamline the order cancellations. We're going to integrate CRM service bot with AWS Fulfilment team for seamless data flow using Ingestion connector. And let's get into the agenda. We'll have to talk about what is Salesforce Data Cloud, how Data Cloud works. And today we'd love to talk about a retail fulfillment use case. We have some scenario from a retail customer, and we can give some solutions and outcome that what customer is expecting for with the data flow and a solution diagram. And you can connect with us anytime. Salesforce Data Cloud, an innovative, great solution which has been introduced by Salesforce a way long back with customer 360 audiences. And then we renamed this as Genie. And then now it's a powerful data cloud, which comes with 3 editions: Data Cloud for Tableau, Data Cloud for Marketing, Data Cloud for Core. So you have 3 different editions available where you can go and then pick it up the best edition that as per your business need. And it brought the different verticals all together with a powerful intelligent, with a real-time capacity and an automation capabilities. And believe me, it connects and harmonizes daily 100 billions of records daily, and that gives a lot of maturity and the momentum from a tool perspective. That gives a lot, that brings a lot of different use cases to be solved inside our biggest data cloud platform, and it has a plenty of features. And you should learn about how data cloud works typically, as I've talked about in previous use case demos. As a native connector, so you can connect to different systems with first-party, third-party data, and you can connect your third-party applications via APIs and SDKs, and then you can connect with MuleSoft and Enterprise Data Platform. You could bring the data from different sources. You could connect using batch ingestion. You could connect your streaming real-time ingestion. You could perform some data transformations or preparations, and then harmonizing the data using a model entities. And then you can unify the customer data, which is called the golden record, using matching rules and reconciliation rules. Further, you could segmentize and productize and analyze the data. You could use some of the best features inside Data Cloud called calculated insights and segmentations and activations. And you could perform those segmented audiences back to activation platforms called MarTech systems, ads platform, and applications. Not only that, Data Cloud can brings the data and easily connecting to zero copy ETL policy using data sharing and data share target concept. Using, you can bring data from Databricks and Snowflake, and you could always bring the data from different biggest data lakehouse platforms at the same time. You could just design your own AI models inside AWS SageMaker, Google Vertex, and then you could bring those models back to Data Cloud, and you could just register that model, and you could use that model to your model entities. And it has a great Gen AI capabilities. You could use generative AI for segmentation and activations. It generates the best activation algorithm for you, where you could productize and then you can analyze, and you could use this data for sending to different analytics platform called CRM Analytics, and then you could use a Tableau, have a Tableau direct connector, and you could just design whole great capacity of analytics as well. And this entire platform is completely covered with data governance, security, privacy, and compliance. Let's jump into our today's scenario. Ever wondered that so people in fulfillment team, because they're the one who's working on different stores, different retail stores, which has a POS system they do have, and the expectation from the fulfillment department would be they operate, they only see AWS data, they only have an access to AWS environment, but the company has a different omnichannel platforms called Chatbot, Facebook Messenger, and a couple of other Viber. So they would love to reach out to the support agent, which sits in Salesforce Service Cloud, and they would love, because the customers can go and then cancel their orders through the conversations of omnichannel, and then immediately the fulfillment team requirement would be they would love to see the cancellation orders at least an hourly basis. Who are all the customers cancel their orders using different channels, and then I want to have some visibility on it, and they would love to see these details inside the AWS platform so that they could analyze that, and then they could be able to efficiently work on the customer satisfaction to provide the great order transactions and order fulfillments. So here in the scenario, what we would love to come up with the solution and outcome would be, so we are leveraging a data cloud ingestion API where we bring the data from all the cancellation orders that are canceled through Chatbot or any other Facebook Messenger or a Viber. We bring the data and we cancel orders inside Salesforce under AWS transactions. And then we immediately connect it to an ingestion API of Data Cloud to send this data back to Data Cloud under one of the data stream. And then we could use the segmentations to unifies this data, and then we could segmentize the data. We only segmentize the cancellation orders, and then we can activate those audiences through an activation platform back to S3 system. So it's a complete native kind of a job. So we're not applying any much programming kind of a thing. We can say that 80% is something that we are adopting the data flow, data cloud native connectors and native features, and 20% we are applying some Apex callouts from CRM org to data cloud, and that I would love to showcase in the demo. So let's go back to our data flow. So if you look at the data flow here, this is the current service cloud is our home org. And so in our previous use cases where I've showcased you how we could bring the data from POS system to Salesforce CRM org, where the sales managers and the service and support managers wanted to see all the sale orders have done by customers, because they are the people who interacting with the service. They are interacting with the customers via different omni channels, right? So they need a visibility. That's where we brought all the transaction data inside Salesforce. And we built one of the LWC component to show the timeline view of the sales order transactions. And we leverage a bot for connecting with the website bots and Facebook chat, Facebook Messenger bots and Viber. And then we're creating a cases for each and every customer, support a transfer to agent request queue. And then once a support agent can cancel those orders, and immediately they'll update the status in the AWS transaction records. That will immediately trigger an API to Data Cloud via Ingestion API. So in order to connecting Ingestion API, you have to perform a few. There are some prerequisites which you have to connect using Ingestion API of Data Cloud. So one with, you have to create a connected app, and you have to define some auth scopes. And while connecting CRM org to Data Cloud org via Ingestion API, you need to design your OAuth token using a JSON JWT barrier, and then you have to define the private keys, and you have to register the self-signed certificates. So it's a whole bunch of process where you have to follow before you connecting it to Data Cloud destination org. So once you've been connected to Ingestion API, then you could automatically see you can create one data stream using Ingestion API, and then you could transform that, modeling that, and then you could segmentize that information, and then you could activate that, and you could use the activation target to define the S3 location, and then you could do a complete connector setup with the YAML file preparations, and then you could activate. Once you activate the audiences, that automatically stores inside your AWS platform under a different folder called cancellation orders. With this, let's go back to the solution on a step-by-step process. Step number one would be the customer reach out to retail company websites to cancel the latest order via chatbot. And once the chat request transferred to a support agent by a customer, agent accepts the request, agent performs the cancellations, and the API invokes and performs a call out to ingestion API. So sale order data stream got refreshed inside the ingestion API that we have set up initially, and segmentation got updates, and then activation runs and publishes. Once the activation runs and publishes the latest cancel orders of every hour, because we're going to set up the activation to run in every hour, and then we can send the cancel orders back to POS under one of the specific folder called AWS S3 locations. So let's get into the demo, how we can design this entire use case with the different particular technical elements. So here, this is my Salesforce org. So these are all my Salesforce contacts. And now what I can do is I can go back and then enable my chatbot. I could just build one chatbot interface for you all sides. Can pick this. Can go back to my incognito mode. So here, imagine this is a retail company's website. So currently agents are offline. So I'll make myself available inside the bot. So I'm available, and can go back and then take one of my customers' email ID. So he's a person who's trying to reach out to cancel the orders. Marian test. So here I'll refresh it. Whenever I refresh, I'll have an access to what? I'll say that my email ID and same as the test. I would like to cancel my latest order. Please help us. Once I start agent, start conversation with an agent, a transfer agent option will go back, and then here I can see my details, and I could accept this case. So here I could say that, hi dear, how can I help you? So I go back to my bot. I'd like to cancel my recent order done transaction around 5,000 USD. Sure, let me check. I'll go back to the Marian contact record, and then I could see Marian sale orders as done. So I can see the latest sale order, which is on 5,000. I go back to my AWS transactions. I'll pick my one of my transaction. I could just confirm once again, this is what the transaction amount and the date of purchase. I'll go back to idea of please can you confirm once on these details. The order of purchase be in the amount 5030 USD. So once agent requires some confirmation, I can say that yes, that's right. Please go ahead and cancel my transaction. So here I would love to confirmation. Sure, give me a moment. I'll go back to my respective record, and then I can go and then put this as cancelled. So I'll let the customer know your order has been cancelled. You will get refund next 24 to 48 hours. Thank you. Is there anything that I can help? Say that awesome. Thank you for your support. Great. So here I could send some CSAT links for capturing CSATs and everything as such. You could just leverage the survey tool of Salesforce to send the CSAT links as well, and then I'm going to end the chat. So once I've done my transaction, so I've canceled this transaction. I've canceled my transaction, which is a sale order ID 4 with the respective customer, the transaction amount 5030. Then the expectation would be I would love to send this data back to Data Cloud using Ingestion API. But connecting Ingestion API before that, as I've told, there are some processes are required in order to connect it. The number one is you have to go and then create one connected app. You have to go and then create one connected app, well, any connected app, and make sure you just need to follow something. You have to give the permitted users would be always all users may self-authorize as an option, and then make sure your OAuth scope, define your data cloud OAuth, specially managed data cloud profile data cloud ingestion API data. So these two are very important, and the data cloud calculated insights data as well. So you have an article where you could use this article to set up, and these are all the OAuth scopes where you have to define and you have to give an access inside your connected app. Once you provide a connected app, make sure you need to connect our OAuth using the JWT token. So the OAuth flow that what we've designed using the JSON web token would be, so what we have done is use this article that we created a private key and self-signed issue certificate. So follow this document to create your own key and self-signed certificate. Once you create the certificate, what you have to do is you have to go and go to the certificate and key management, and then you have to try to upload this key certificate with all the details. Once you add this key certificate, then you have to go and then return one web service class, the web service class which talks about how we could authenticate this data, how we could get the token, and how we can process this data to data cloud. Once you have done the authentication and then perform a call out using JWT token, you have to go and then log in with Salesforce Data Cloud. So in Data Cloud, this is my Data Cloud org. So step number one would be you have to perform an ingestion API connector. So here is an ingestion API connector. You have to click on Data Cloud Setup, and then you have to go to the ingestion API. Ingestion API. So in this ingestion API, where I have connected my ingestion API, and make sure you have to follow some certain principles and guidelines to design ingestion API. My ingestion API is SF data API. So here you have to create one schema file, which is an YAML format. So this is my schema. Look like if you want to click on view full schema. So this is a schema. This is the data that I'm sending from CRM to Data Cloud. So once you design the schema, you have to go back to your Data Cloud home page, and then you have to go and then go to the data stream, and then you have to click on new. You have to click on new, and then you have to choose your ingestion API as a data connector type. You can look at this ingestion API. So once you click on ingestion API as a new, you could see the respective ingestion API that what you have been designed as of data API, and then it shows no available objects because you already connected the same API into your data stream. I connected before the ingestion API here. Once you brought the data from Salesforce to Data Cloud via ingestion API, so you'll see the data stream like this, and then you have to go and then perform your modeling here from the source attributes what you have been exposed through an ingestion API via an YAML file. So these source attributes that you have to go and then map your data model entities with contact point email, unified individual, and then sale order. So once you map this, you have to run the data stream. Because I've used this and then map most of my relations and build using sale order, you have to go back to the sale order. I'm going to showcase the sale order. So here, this is your sale order data where we've connected one of our data stream, nothing but one of our data lake object called SF data API. So this is the data that we've been connected from AWS. This is the SF data API. This is one of the model, one of the data lake we connected to our sale order. So at the same time, we could see the relationships also. The sale order with the bill to email, ship to email with different key qualifier indicators. Once you design your relations and everything, you have to go and then run your IDR with the sale order ID. Once you run IDR, then you can go and then verify whether the data came to Salesforce Data Cloud or not from CRM. Because this is the order. This is the order where you have been. This is the order where you have been cancelled. Just verify whether this data came to Salesforce as in real time or not. So you can just copy this email address. You can go to your Data Explorer. Go to your Data Explorer, and then you can choose your data space and then choose your data model object. So sale order ID is my model object where I have modeled and built some relations using my CRM table, the ingestion API table. Now I can go back and then filter the data with the bill to email. I clicked on apply. You see here, I can just edit the columns. I'm trying to delete some of the unusual columns and put some columns with what I have. Click on done. If you look at this, so whenever I cancel an order, so it automatically shows one data coming from my data SF API. This is my data source where you can see my order ID, and you could just see my ship to email, and you could see my sale order status cancel. And the data which is coming from the Salesforce data API via ingestion API connector. Once this is done, successfully the data came from CRM to Data Cloud via ingestion API. And now I can go and then perform a segmentation. So here I've created one segmentation called CRM cancel orders back to POS. So here the segmentation, what I have done is I go and then edit my rules. Once I edit my rules, currently you could see 3 as my previous records. Now if I could save once again, I could see one more record which has been created because recently I have canceled one more order from my CRM system that I've been syncing to Data Cloud via an API connector, ingestion API connector. Now I could just refresh this. So I'm going to run one IDR once again, and then I'm going to showcase that. So ideally how it works is if you can create a segmentation, and then what I've done is inside segmentation, I've done an activation. My activation is cancel orders to POS system. So once my activation has been created, so you have to create an activation, and further you have to create an activation target. So this is my activation, and this is my segmentation, and you could see my records of segmentation. My 3 records have been run, and I go back to my segmentation again. Yesterday I've been run my action name cancel orders to POS with the activation target. My activation target is an S3 platform. This is my activation target. You have to set up an activation target before you create an activation. And then once you have done it, you can go to the segmentation, and you can go and then publish the segmentation once you publish it. So once you publish the segmentation, you could see the 3 records have been processed to S3 platform. And once you see the publish status success, automatically in S3 platform, I'm going to log in with the S3 to showcase how the cancellation order file will sit in every hour. We are sending this data to be refreshed and place inside one of the parent folder called cancellation orders. So this is my S3 bucket, and inside this is the cancellation order folder. Inside customer 360 segment with the date, month, and the day. So here, if you look at my cancellation orders, so this is my cancellation order file, which have been processed, which contains 3 records of 3 customers who have been cancelled 3 orders from the last 24 hours. So this is the way that we have been working end-to-end cross-org integrations with data cloud solutions, where fulfillment team can use this data to further analyze and then to efficiently work towards to fulfill the cash or card details, and they could send the amount back to their customers' credit cards or debit cards, so that this gives a full complete picture of a customer experience from a retail standpoint. So let's go back to the presentation. So that's how we design the entire solution from end to end, using different stack of the systems, different features of data cloud, and different service cloud omnichannel capabilities. And if any questions, you could connect with us on LinkedIn and Twitter. And if you have any comments, you could just feel free to comment us on connect@valuebyid.com, or you could subscribe to our YouTube channel for get more updates on more videos. And you could follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you so much for listening us. And we've been a couple of use cases so far, about 5, and then in future we'll come up with a different industry use case, and then we will record those use cases, and then that will help you out for our community and for the customers. Thank you.